There's an old Seinfeld episode, What's the Deal with Airline Food? Okay, well, what's the deal with music? Why is music so fun? Why do we remember some piece of music or even maybe a lick, even a note sometimes from years ago? Why can't we get some songs out of our head? Why do we enjoy certain artists and their style, the way they do things? Why? A song that you like hooks you in. I'll take it a step further though. For me, I think of a song that's hummable, memorable. Possibly it has a message and an empathetic tug or pull. And when it's got those things, it's got something special. But there's something else. A great song can also attach itself to your memory. We all remember a song that reminds us of a place, maybe an event, a person, something that happened from when we were kids years ago, something like that. The song enters our lives almost as a friend, and it stays with us. The music's reliable, it never varies, and it can stay with us for years and years and years. Some examples I can think of off the top of my head, and bear in mind I'm not up to date on the pop and rap scenes, so I'm older. First one is the guitars in Hotel California. The very first few notes of that song with Don Felder's 12-string guitar, it immediately tells me that it's Hotel California. Immediately. It doesn't take more than a couple of notes. Then at the end of it, the amazing guitar duet by Felder and Walsh brings back memories. It conveys happy times and youth, but basically happy times. Second one for me, example, the mandolin intro followed by a double drum beat in The Wait. I know there'll be a rolling into Nazareth about 10:30. Same idea, happy memories. For me, it stuck. And those are just a couple of mine. There's a lot of other ones, and you probably have yours. The point is, in all cases, you know what's coming after the first measure or note or something in the song. And usually within the first few measures. Why? The memory has cataloged them. Basically, it's stacked them in there as happy or sad, but it's been put in the memory bank. Taking it a step further, what was there about the songwriting or performance? Remember we talked about enhancements to music, to a song. What is there about the songwriting or performance that helps make all of this occur? Well, obviously there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Otherwise every song on Spotify or Apple Music would be memorable. Most aren't, but here's something really interesting, I think. Another great songwriter, John Braheny. He authored a book called The Craft and Business of Songwriting. He describes two totally separate studies on the traits of successful people. One study looked at the traits of successful business people. The other looked at traits of successful creative people, specifically songwriters, because he's a songwriter. I couldn't find as an old research guy, I couldn't find the sampling or methodology of those studies, but he quotes it in his book. Please take what I'm about to say at face value, but I think there's probably some truth to it. The results are interesting, at least to me. Both studies used common words where people described successful people. Successful creative people and songwriters were described as being playful, okay with risk, tend to be self-reliant, thrive when faced with complexities. They like to prioritize things. In other words, these people are not afraid of risk, they're highly organized, and are not intimidated by chaos. In fact, they welcome it. And successful business people? Almost the identical words were used to describe them. Totally separate studies. Organized, enjoy complex situations, strive to dismantle chaos and chaotic situations. There are some other lesser traits, but those are the main ones. Two totally separate studies done for different things, different reasons, by two different organizations with different purposes, use similar words to describe two totally disparate human activities. Interesting, right? Think back to one of your old favorite songs, and there's a good chance that the person who created it had some or many of the traits described in these studies. Next week, I'm going to continue to look at why we like music, why we enjoy it, but this time at how our brain actually physically processes music. This week's featured song is Who Will Sing for Me? It's a song that is credited to Thomas Ferris in 1944. And I say credited to since an earlier version might have existed for decades earlier. The story behind the lyrics remains unknown. However, it's such a lonely, though pretty song. It's been recorded by many artists from Emmylou Harris to the Stanley Brothers, Grateful Dead, many more. So here's Who Will Sing for Me. I hope you enjoy it.
Oft I sing for my friends when death's cold hand I see. When I reach my journey's end, who will sing for me? I wonder who will sing for me when I come to the cross on that silent sea. Who will sing one song for me? When crowds shall gather round and look down on me, will they turn and walk away, or will they sing a song for me? I will sing for me when I come to the cross on that silent sea. Who will sing one song for me? I wonder who will sing for me when I come to the cross on that silent sea. Who will sing one song for me? Who will sing one song for me?
And now, here is this week's episode of The Musical Life of Freddie Spaghetti.
In our installment last week, Freddie Spaghetti purchased a capo to help with a song he was trying to play. And as well as the capo at the store, Freddie also met a beautiful young lady. On the way home from the Crooked Fret, Freddie pedaled his bike slowly, going over the encounter with her in his mind. He got off the bike for a moment and pulled the capo from his jacket pocket. It would serve him well learning Crossroad Blues, but it also served as a connection with the young lady that he'd just met, and who had, unbelievably considering his awkwardness, agreed to meet with him sometime for a coffee. He hopped back onto the saddle and rode home. Her name is Brittany Sawchuk, Brit for short. She lives in a nearby town called Leon, a short car drive and a half-hour bike ride from Cherry Creek. She lives there with her parents in a nice home. Her father is an investment broker, and the family is quite well off, with a pool and tennis courts in the oversized backyard and a new Lexus in the driveway every couple of years. The high school that both Freddie and Britt had attended is closer to her town than his. It's one of those high schools where kids of various ages and grade levels mingle together. Brittany had skipped a grade, so she was a year ahead of Freddie. And they'd met briefly during a large high school field trip once. He remembers her as being a bit shy and mostly in the company of her girlfriends. But now Britt had grown up. Britt was already waiting when Freddie arrived at the Vanilla Plus ice cream shot. "Sorry I'm late," Freddie began. She just smiled and explained that her biggest weakness was ice cream, especially from here. In front of her was a dish with slightly eaten triple duper topping sundae. Freddie sat down, searching for an icebreaker. "So where did Sam go for his time off?" That's a great conversation starter, he thought. "Well, he likes to fish, so he and his friends went up to some cabin for a few days." Britt scooped out some more of that sundae as Freddie waved the waitress over for some coffee. "The capo, is it working out okay?" "Oh, yeah, the capo. It's helped me with this song I'm trying to learn." Freddie began feeling more and more at ease. He wasn't sure how much of that was him, how much of that was her. All he knew was that he was becoming more and more comfortable and less awkward, and it was a nice feeling.
Thanks for listening to this week's Sound Threads. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week we'll have a brand new edition. Hope you will join us then.